is Jim Seimas.
And Andrew Matheson with this week's edition of Double
Coverage.
I like that.
Did you?
Yeah. I threw it to you. You know what to do with it.
I knew exactly how to finish that.
Exactly.
Sentence. Yeah, you did it. Good job. All right, on to bigger and better.
Seriously. Week 7 is in the books already. Incredible.
Yeah.
We got 3 weeks remaining. Week 8, Week 9, Week 10.
Stuff's kind of getting sewn up, though.
Yeah,
at least
a little bit.
More so after
this weekend. There were 2 big games on the docket, at least for the Santa Cruz Sentinel, Santa Cruz Coast Athletic League, and the Santa Cruz Sentinel.
Yes.
Let's start with the biggie, Aptos versus Soquel.
The big powers.
Tell us about it, Jim.
Well, it was a pretty darn good game.
Yeah.
Came down to the fourth quarter. Aptos pulled away. Our number 3 ranked team in the Sentinel Power Poll beat the top ranked Soquel Knights 32-21. They had 12 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to break a tie. Or actually, they trailed by a point in the third quarter and rallied to win that game. So it was pretty awesome. I mean, they had so many weapons. Aptos did what it does to everyone, aside from their 2 losses. But they just kind of imposed their will.
Yeah.
They imposed their will. But they set it all up with Alex Joe throwing for 2 long touchdown passes, both to Alec Bonsall.
50 plus, right?
Yeah, both on 50 plus yards. That set the stage, and then they just pounded the ball the rest of the way. Fabiano Hale had a great game, as usual, to lead Soquel. He rushed for 216 yards on 20 carries, also scored 3 touchdowns to boost his career total to 45 now, I believe it is, 42, 45.
Sounds about right.
He has 22 on the season, 3 shy of breaking Dwight Lowry's school record for season touchdowns.
Yeah, that's very impressive. Before we move any forward, though, we have really been talking about Alex Joe at quarterback. I mean, if you look at the stats, started, I would say slow, but he's definitely gotten more and more efficient each and every week.
Yes.
5 of 6, 7 of 8, 6 of 7. It was like only 1 incompletion for like a good 3-4 week period there. How important is he? I mean, how key would he be, I guess, moving forward to set up that? Because they run the wing tee.
Yes.
No, everybody knows that.
Yes,
they're going to run the ball down your throat.
Yes.
But to have that passing option can kind of, pull some DBs out of the box.
It's just not just the passing. Like usually in that offense, it seems to me, whenever they do pass, that guy is usually wide open. Mm-hmm. It's just they suck defenses in. The linebackers, defensive back, everyone just packs the box, it seems like. Yeah. And then they lull you to sleep. Not really, you're not sleeping, but you're trying to stop this potent attack, and then next thing you know, a guy's 20 yards behind the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, Bonsall was open at least by 10 yards both times.
And is that because they were just running the ball so often?
Yeah, they were running so well.
Yeah.
You had to commit, it seemed like. So Aaron McInerney ran for 119 yards, Brody Bennett ran for 92 yards, and Elijah Marta, who ran for 108. And
Shockwaves through the Sentinel Power Poll.
They're alone in first place now.
Yeah.
So the only team that's going to hopefully have a chance to stop them is SLB.
The other thing I was thinking about, Aptos won, of course, last year.
Yes.
They won the league championship. They went undefeated. They lost a ton of guys from that team. They had to reload this year for the most part. Now they're in the driver's seat to winning another championship.
Yes.
This is going to be a little scary for the rest of the league, I think.
I was thinking that because...
And I'm not just about this year, but moving forward.
I know.
I mean, when they have seniors and they graduate them, apparently they can just reload with new talent and do the same thing over again.
Yes.
I mean,
the foundation is set.
Yeah.
It's a scary prospect for a lot of other teams in the county.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Okay.
Let's go on to your big game in the gas.
Yeah.
Gas fume.
The
portable light structure.
Beautiful light structures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Battery, solar operated, huh?
Bright. Okay. Everything you want from a light.
Yeah. How many lumens?
How many?
All right.
There's 20,000 BTUs.
Ooh.
I have no idea
Highly
what that
effective.
means. But seriously though, I mean, I remember when I went to NBC Monterey. This is a total digression. I went to NBC Monterey last year, and they did the same thing with the lights.
Yes.
And they were like 20 feet off the ground. It was terrible.
Wow.
Any ball in the air was like.
Yeah.
So you couldn't see anything. These were like at least 30 feet, 35
feet.
So you could, there was some room to work with.
Nice.
On to the game.
Okay.
Cool. Fairly.
Shaka.
Well, I picked Scotts Valley to win.
Shocker for me.
By the way, you might not want to go to Scotts Valley anytime soon. They have a memory, and they know who picked whom in that game last week. That you picked.
They won. Get over it. They won. They shocked.
They wanted me to give you crap on this episode.
Okay.
And that Seimas doesn't know. Well,
they probably bribed him with a free tri-tip.
They were out of tri-tip.
Okay, see, so they bribed him with the nacho dog.
Well, no, I had to pay full price on my homemade cheeseburger.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Anyway, a big win for Scotts Valley, and like we said, this was kind of a...
How did this happen? Seriously, like, offensive line, I mean, no one, if they edged, no one saw this. Like, that sort of, what was the final score, 45-7?
This guy saw it. Well, I saw Scotts Valley win.
Yeah.
I did not see a 43-7 victory, though, for Scotts Valley.
Yeah.
I figured it'd be close. I figured with what, I don't want to say desperation mode, but they needed to win this game if they wanted to move forward, basically, and have a chance at anything in terms of after the regular season. Okay. I don't know how it all shakes out.
Exactly.
But, you got to win these types of games against these types of opponents if you even want to have a chance, basically. So, and we'll let the PowerPoints decide at the end of the season. But, I mean, basically, first of all, Scotts Valley comes out, sets the tone. First of all, they passed in the very first play.
Okay.
I was shocked about.
Okay.
And then they actually threw 3 passes in the opening drive, including a play-action 18-yard touchdown pass to Manuel Johnson from Garrett Johnston.
Okay. No relation? No relation.
No relation. Well, one's Johnston, the other one's Johnson.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's 2 completely different names.
Okay. Yes, they're both brothers. You didn't know that. They're Falcon brothers.
But, they set up the pass early.
Yes.
And then they started going back to Scotts Valley football, pounding it with Ari Wargon, with Jake Renberg, with Willie Johnston.
Thunder and Lightning to SLV, that tandem that you love so much, and I love them too. But what do you call this tandem over at Scotts Valley?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of Wargon. Okay. So I mean,
well, it's actually a lot of Renberg.
And a lot
size wise.
Renberg too. I mean, he's big in the goal line situations because he is such a power back. But they started playing Scotts Valley football, and they ran for 254 yards on 51 attempts combined as a team. Basically, though, SLV's offense couldn't get started.
No.
First half, they had 5 possessions. They went 4 and out. They went 3 and out 4 times.
Yeah.
5th possession, they had a turnover.
Didn't see that coming.
Couldn't get the offense going. They had a couple of costly mistakes each time. Scotts Valley converted it. They had a 30-0 lead at halftime. It was impressive. I mean, it was pretty thorough. And
Scotts Valley, #1 ranked team. No school as small has ever been this far. Good job, Falcons.
They got a safety. It was like everything that went right. SLV had a couple bad snaps. They had a lot of, 2nd and 3rd and long, real long, like 20-yard type stuff.
We knew Scotts Valley was good. We did.
Yeah.
We both said that throughout. I'm just thoroughly impressed. Hats off to Scotts Valley.
Yeah, and I think it was one. You mentioned the line. The holes that they were creating for Wargon were, he had 100 yards at halftime. I think, if I remember correctly, he finished with 150.
Could he drive?
He had 140. He had 148 yards at halftime. He finished with 155. He had 1 attempt in the second half. And defensively, the holes just weren't there for Derek Petzinger and Jason Bryson to run through. They couldn't get much of anything going. Yeah. And when they did get into an open field, Scotts Valley had pretty fantastic tackling in the open field as well. I mean, they just couldn't do anything.
Well, the holes that Wargon drove through, could you drive your bullet-riddled car through those holes?
My I got shot at last night, people. I'm lucky to even be here.
He is very lucky to be alive. I'm grateful to have you here. We're moving on, but we're so happy that Andrew's alive and well. And that is actually a scary situation, quite honestly.
We shouldn't even joke about it.
We shouldn't. I'm not laughing anymore. At all.
This is very serious.
I'm very happy to have you here.
Okay, let's move on right to the next game, which was
a no game, no contest.
No contest.
No offense to PV. PV is a very young team.
Yeah, almost all juniors.
Yeah, they start 2 seniors on each side of the ball. The rest all juniors and sophomores. They with a bounce back match for Monte Vista Christian, coming off that tough loss to Seaside. Monte Vista had their way completely. With the Grizzlies on their homecoming,
which is what NBC kind of needed moving forward. I mean, obviously PV was the unfortunate, shorter end basically, but
it's a big win.
Yeah,
because the champion for the Pacific Division for Monterey Bay League will get into the playoffs. The #2 team has to go at large, and Monte Vista is creeping toward that at large PowerPoint total. They're at 6 wins right now. One more. Coach David Reese said tonight he believes we'll get in. but they had 7 wins 2 years ago and they didn't get in.
There's no guarantees with that.
Yeah, it's not from a lower rated league. So.
And the big game for them will be LSL. I think that's the last remaining big game.
Yeah.
And they have Watsonville next week. Yeah, they have Watsonville next week too. So I mean, their schedule doesn't necessarily take a week off.
Yeah, so they got the win we expected they'd get, the win they expected they'd get. So much so that they didn't even hand the ball off once to any running back in the first half. It was all passes.
All Matheson.
All Matheson. He was 18 of 28 for 216 yards at halftime with 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he ran for another touchdown.
Could you do that?
I could barely chase him down for an interview after the game. Guy's fast. Yeah, and then Hugo Renteria added a second half touchdown, and the Mustangs also had a defensive touchdown. But the tail of the tape here was Paro Valley star Anthony Cantrell didn't play the first half.
Yeah.
So he came in, he was kind of benched for missing a practice earlier in the week, and he came back and ran for 87 yards. It was an impressive 87 yards on 12 carries.
Yeah, he's tough to bring down.
That showing tonight against Monte Vista defense, I gained more respect for Cantrell.
Yeah.
He's not just doing it to the credit teams, he's doing it to everyone.
Yeah.
So he didn't score their touchdown, that went to cornerback Eddie Medina. But once again, I thought PV looked a lot better than when I saw him in the season opener against Harbor.
Yeah.
So kudos to the Grizzlies for improving,
I
honestly.
think before entering this week, I think I had Cantrell at 188 to break, needing 188 yards to break the single season school record at PV. He got 87. Okay, so he's 101 with 2 games left.
John Paul Holbert, now Cabrillo, he knows his record's going to disintegrate in a week or 2.
And well, we have Mo Strickling. That's what.
And Mo.
Yeah.
Mo as well.
That's the school record.
All
Mo
right.
Strickling. So.
Sounds like I didn't correct my story. Oh, not funny. This is not a laughing matter. And that pretty much covers up what the games we covered this weekend.
Yeah, and of course MVC will play Watsonville next week, and head coach David Reese will only have about 1/2 of film to look at for the Wildcats.
That's right.
Because they only played 1/2 last week. They hosted Fresno Christian for their homecoming week. They got it to about a 36-7 lead at halftime, and then Fresno Christian made like a banana and split.
Oh, they made like a tree and left. You like that? Just completely massacre it. They made like Michael Jackson and beat it. All right.
They left basically, and basically, well, there's a lot of stuff we don't really know the full story. Neither of us was at the game.
But what we're anticipating was.
They have a small benefit of the doubt. They have a small team. They got some kids banged up, I guess, before the half. I think they reportedly.
If that's the real case, then
that is the real case. They may have lost both their quarterbacks, and they don't have.
There's speculation on the other side of it, though, that they were losing so bad that they just wanted to get the heck out of Dodge.
But I mean, they had lost like 3 previous games at like 45.
They took some verbal jabs at Wattsville, saying that they're playing dirty and whatnot, and they wanted to protect their players. There's a lot more to it than their 2 quarterbacks getting.
I mean, I've seen Wattsville play. I don't necessarily think they played dirty.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I really don't. I actually think they're a pretty well coached team.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We'll try and follow up with the story. I think we'll see what we can get from Fresno Christian side. We don't know. But
in that case, ignore my crying Fresno Christian coach if we need to interview.
If we need a quote.
It was just acting. I was merely Hollywoodizing it.
That does it for this week's edition of Double Coverage. Check us out for Week 8 previews. A big week.
It is a big week. The Ocho.
Double 4s.
Yes, I like
it. Check that out. They'll be up later this week on SantaCruzSentinel.com/football. And you can check us out on Twitter, on social media, on YouTube. You can like us. You can dislike us. We got 2 dislikes I saw.
Cool.
On YouTube. I don't know. I hope you feel better about yourself. Whoever dislikes.
I'm going to talk to my parents because I think there might have been one of them. Their parents too. Better check this out.
That does it for this week's edition.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Stay classy, Santa Cruz.